Hi, welcome everybody.
Hello.
My name's Tam. This is going to be one awesome hour for studio sessions. Before we get stuck into things, I'm just going to do acknowledgement to country and just share with you that the Emporium Creative Hub acknowledges the traditional owners, the Dja Dja Wurrung people, on whose land we meet, share, work and create. And it's so good to be here. This studio session, we are doing a how-to guide, a how-to chat on how to get paid for your creative skills and your passion. And I am with some stunning, amazing creative entrepreneurs who are based here in Bendigo. I'd like to welcome Kimberley of Oak Magazine. How you doing?
Hello, thanks for having me.
Thanks for coming along. And Caleb from Hebron Films.
Hello.
How you doing?
Great.
And Louise from Design Pond.
Hi.
Hi, Lou. So good you can be here. And also, I'm really hoping that we might have some people joining us on Facebook Live right now. And you've got the chat, the comments underneath there. I'd love to see you. And you know, if there's a link to your creative enterprise, or you've got a question or idea you want to share with us, please do jump in, because this is the time to talk to these amazing people and find some great stuff out about. So the Emporium Creative Hub, although it's not open right now to the public, it is a co-working space, but it's also about building an awesome creative community here in Bendigo, and you know, really backing creative entrepreneurs. And you know, I was thinking today, you know, when a business engages a local creative, they are engaging all local creatives, you know, because you're backing one, there is a good damn chance that someone else is going to get backed, and you're making it really buoyant. And that's what we're all about making here, is success and you know, keeping our creatives in business and doing awesome things. Hello to our audience. Thanks for commenting. Pop up a link to your business if you like, and tell us a bit more about yourselves. I'm going to do a quick bio intro to each of our guests. So Caleb, he is the founder and creative director of Hebron Films, a video marketing agency that helps businesses get more customers using reliable and strategic video. Better believe it. And as a creative entrepreneur, Caleb spends his time building a thriving community-minded business, contributing to Bendigo's local creative industries and connecting with other talented creatives. And that is so true. You have backed me so many times, Caleb. Thank you.
My pleasure.
And Kimberley. Kimberley has been a wonderful backer of my work as well. And she is also a social media expert, magazine publisher, podcast host, and spends her time creating content to inspire, influence, and resonate. Kimberley is a former journalist who took a quick pit stop in hair and beauty before skipping over to corporate communications, where she became an early adopter of social media. She founded her first business, Right Style Communications, in 2014 as a vehicle to share her knowledge and skills to help other businesses make sense of social media. In the past 6 years, Kimberley has travelled across regional rural Victoria and New South Wales, delivering workshops on social media, and she also runs a successful online Instagram training course for women in business, and no doubt some of you out there have probably experienced it. And she is also representing a new chapter in regional media for this country. She is the founder and editor of Oak Magazine, which is an independent publication. And we're going to be talking quite a bit about her creative endeavours behind Oak. And Louise, it's going to be a delight to share a bit more about yourself. I've been really fortunate to be in a co-working space with Louise, which is a lot of fun. Louise is a graphic designer, and she spent the majority of her career as a graphic designer in her self-employed, operating under Design Pond. You probably know a lot of her work. It's up around on many buildings and websites here in Bendigo and around the country for that matter. She's worked on a range of clients for small businesses to large not-for-profits to magazines to art galleries and mostly focused on branding and print media. Whew, I just had to get that all out because you guys have got something, pretty special to share with everyone today. How are we going on that chat there? Everyone's getting into it? Good. Caleb, so your creative enterprise, Hebron Films, what was the spark? What made you realize that you are going to set up a video business?
I had a lot of misconceptions about business when I was growing up. I always had saw the business studies class in high school, and later in high school I was like, who would ever want to be in business? I just saw it as something opposed to creativity. And I as I grew up, I realized that business is actually crucial. It's actually a place that can support someone's creativity, and that was what it became for me. I started trying to get into the film industry. I did a film degree down in Melbourne, and then decided I want to be an actor.
Oh, really? I didn't know this.
No kidding. There's a photo of me. And I'm not going to look at the video of me, so I don't. I decided I want to be an actor, and then after a few years, I began telling people that I was actually a professional unpaid auditioner because I did very little acting and a lot of auditions that I didn't get paid for. So I kind of realized that I needed to achieve my dream and my passion and be creative in the film industry in a different way, and kind of build my own path in, which I didn't really know much about. So that's what I'm passionate about now is every opportunity I get to speak into a young person's dream and vision and how they may be able to achieve that through their own means rather than a traditional path. And I take that opportunity. But in 2013, end of 2013 and early 2014, started Hebron Films with a good mate of mine. We had a camera. He had a camera. He had a computer, and we borrowed a tripod, and we just started making videos. I think one of our first commercial videos was for Get Naked Espresso, because Jesse was starting that around about the same time. And then it kind of just, kicked off from there. That's kind of what started our journey.
I love, I think, when you were describing about inspiring young people to get into creative careers, that to forge your own path. And that is the, I don't know if the right word's freedom, but empowerment that business can give you. Yeah. And it sounds like you've just gone, hell, I'm going to give this a go.
Yeah. And I literally knew nothing. I knew a bit about people. I had some people skills and relationship building, networking skills, but I had no idea about business. And I think that's, that can be pretty daunting for people starting their own business, having a solid grasp on their creative skill, but thinking, I know nothing about business. So, that's a barrier. And it's just something that you kind of work out as you go. That's my journey. I jumped into a really great government program called the NEIS program, that the New Enterprise Incentive Scheme. They kind of just gave me a Cert 3 in business that just kind of put a few very basic things on my radar of what I should be learning. And then, I after every meeting, every first client meeting I'd have, like I'd hear them use a different phrase that I'd never heard before, and I'd just like be nodding along in the meeting, and then after I'm straight out of the meeting, I'd be like, Google, what does this mean?
I know.
I
think Google, it's a great foundation for establishing business without a doubt. It's like, yeah, I can totally do that.
Yeah, that's right. How do I do that, Google? Yeah, exactly right.
Thank you so much for sharing that with us, Caleb. But Kimberley, I know I was one of the 99% of people who said, "Are you crazy?" when you said and asked me, "Tam, what do you think of magazines? I'm thinking about starting one. What do you think?" And I was like, "Hey, what?"
I remember that, Tam. I think that comes a bit back to my personality, though, because as you said, it was something like 98% of people had said, no, do it digital if you're going to do anything. No one reads magazines anymore. Whereas, I was always like at the supermarket or the newsagent buying them. Like I just absolutely love them. So yeah, it probably comes down to a little bit of my personality where just because you say no, doesn't mean I'm not going to do it. I'll probably go and do what I want anyway. But I literally felt it in me that, no, this is something that I want to do. And I'm really lucky that at home, I'd sort of spoken about it a bit to the husband, and he just kept saying, like, why not? I'm like, oh, but what if? And he goes, who cares? That was sort of the back and forth that we had. And at the end of the day, like, what is there to lose? It was just, an opportunity came up for me to create like a mini mag and pop it in a gift bag at a conference that I was speaking to. And, at the end of the day, it was just, I can tick one of those bucket list items. But yeah, as soon as I sort of sent that around, and I had a few extra copies left, so I thought, I'll just pop them up on a website, build a website, did the social media aspect of it. And silly enough, I actually didn't put a cap on it, and I actually sold out everything that I'd allocated for the event plus more. So ended up doing a second print run and still thought, okay, this is all right. But yeah, and then, handed it out. People were like, well, where can I subscribe? When's the next one coming out? So, admittedly, I probably deep down would have loved for it to be successful anyway, but I was just, ticking off a bucket list item. And here we are about to produce issue 8. So we're just waiting for that to arrive back from the printer. And I just can't believe it. It's been a whirlwind journey.
Congratulations. I really, really admire what you've created, Kimberley, and it just kind of blows my mind. And I love how, like, just in a breath, you're like, so I set up a website and then made social media happen and
Yeah. Well, the magazine was created in 6 weeks, and that included print time. Like, there was just no time to think. It just, full steam ahead. And I obviously have the absolute pleasure of working with Lou now on the magazine. And I don't know, Lou, nothing much has changed, has it? Like, we still have a really short runway of getting things out. And, that's what I love about running my own business, is that it's to my deadlines. It fits around my lifestyle.
Yeah, it definitely is good. But you're a bit more empowered to work out how you're going to do delivery. Sometimes I feel like my business runs my life a bit, especially leading up to Christmas. That's pretty tough when you've got a lot of deadlines and commitments. But Lou, Design Fund, I see your work everywhere. And that must be so awesome. The whole of Bendigo, if not Australia, is a gallery for
Hardly. No, it is exciting. I remember the first time, like when I first started out designing things and seeing it sort of out in public, even if it was just like a little ad in the newspaper or something. Like, I'd get the weekly and I'd flick through it and go, I made that. And it was really exciting. And now, like I see oak on newsstands and, I've got signage on big buildings and stuff. And I'm like, that was on my computer. And now, like, that started in my brain and now it's there, which is really cool. Yeah.
It is really cool. I love it. I think also, actually, I'll save this question because I want to talk a bit more about design work.
Okay.
But, you know, how did you establish your reputation as a designer and get into business? How did that happen?
It was all very, very organic for me. I'm Bendigo born and bred, and I think just this town is what I have to thank for that. I think it's just the perfect size. And I've been here long enough that I've got a fairly good network. And I started off, obviously, I studied here and I worked with a few, like I did sort of, I did a few jobs while I was at uni, like at the newspaper, and had a few sort of freelance clients and worked for an agency straight out of uni. So started to build a really good network that way through those connections, and it's just continued. It's just gone from there. So yeah, it's been very organic for me, and it's very much word of mouth. We were just talking about this earlier. I'm no good with keeping up to date on social media. I still don't even have a website, which is embarrassing. But I don't need it. I never have needed it, and I'm really, really grateful. I don't need to spend any time on that stuff because I wouldn't enjoy it at all. I'd much rather be having coffees in cafes, you know, pre-COVID, and meeting people face to face and having them introduce me to their friends and so on. And so that's been more how it's happened for me, which has been really nice.
So just the power of your design,
I guess,
got you going. How did you know?
My charm, maybe, I don't know.
And obviously, you know, you've probably had that attitude as well. Like if you're starting to, you know, do work for clients when you're still at uni, you know, you were ready for it and ready to do it. But how did you know, like that moment, like, right, I am in business. This is what I'm doing.
I don't know. I think I still kind of, I'm a bit like Caleb. Like business was never something that, like, you associate business with like wearing a suit and a tie. Like it's, you know, when I was at school, like business studies was not something I would have ever considered doing, which is insane. I think everyone should do business studies because it's actually really interesting and it can be applied to anything. But so yeah, I don't know. I've just sort of reached a point in my life and my career where I thought, oh, now's the time to just give it a go, to try working for myself. I've got nothing to lose. And I sort of foolishly thought, oh, I don't need to know anything about business. I'll just design things and people will pay me. And then just learned as I went along. Same as probably everyone else. You just sort of, you make mistakes and you Google solutions and get a good accountant and call your amazing accountant when you have no idea what BAS means or how to register for GST and all of those things. And yeah, just figured it out as I went along. And so yeah, I don't know when that moment was that I decided I was in business. There was definitely a period when I started that I sort of had grand plans of having this huge agency and setting myself up to have lots of staff maybe, and, you know, just huge pie in the sky stuff. And like the language I was using was very much like I spoke as if I was bigger than I was and all of that sort of stuff. And I kind of started going down that path a little bit. I had an employee for a little while, it was really great fun in a lot of ways, but I ended up coming full circle, and now I'm much happier just being myself and just working myself, and I don't try to pretend I'm anything other than that anymore, which is really nice. So I don't know, now business just feels normal, but it still doesn't feel like business. Like it doesn't feel like I'm in business. I'm still designing stuff and people paying me.
Well, that's awesome, and that's really, you know, totally getting your passion to pay the bills and more. Kimberley, it sounds like, you know, for you, social media and building connections has really played a much bigger role in, you know, building momentum for your creative enterprise. How's that all work for you?
Yeah, I mean, as I was talking to Lou about this just recently, and the fact that, you know, it's word of mouth for her, whereas for myself, it's certainly social media. So, Facebook way back in the day when I started my first business, and much like Caleb and Lou, I didn't think I was smart enough to be a business owner. You know what I mean? But, it's so funny that you learn all these things along the way. But yeah, Facebook at the start and Instagram definitely now, in just helping to build that community, connecting with other people. It just makes it so easy. And look, I'm not sure whether that's the whole women in business, cohort at the moment, and it works really well. A little bit of LinkedIn on the side too, I must admit. But a lot of it is Instagram and connecting with people. And I think we're lucky enough in Bendigo that, yes, pre-COVID, we're doing a lot of, face-to-face things, networks, events. And it's amazing how many people you can meet. And if you push yourself out of that comfort zone and really get to know them and follow up with a message after it, just, the relationships that can build off that. And it may not be today, it might be down the track. And that's what happened with Lou and I. We met for one specific thing. And, then I ran into a little bit of trouble with something and just contacted her and said, hey, could you help me out a little bit? And yeah, now she's the, design and layout just wizard for the whole magazine. So yeah, definitely Instagram is important. A lot happens in the DMs. It's not all necessarily on those posts, but it's still important to pull it off that platform and make sure that you're having, conversations, like this at events, through email, on the phone. I don't know about my generation. We don't phone people anymore. Tam, I hardly ever answer the phone. You'll vouch for that. But yeah, still it's played a really big part. And it's just simple things like using just, a buy from the bush hashtag can put your content out to so many more people at the moment. It's just absolutely phenomenal.
Okay. Yeah. But actually, that was, as Kimberley was talking, I had a little flashback when you opened Bendigo's first creative co-working space.
Oh,
yeah.
Yeah.
That was pretty awesome.
Yeah. I think that's one thing that was always a big priority for me. And it just in my own business as well. I always had this kind of idea in the back of my mind that somehow this business I created would be a network of people. So whether it's having staff or just collaborating a lot with a lot of other creatives, and a physical space is a really big part of that. So, I've been banging on about it for ages, and I gave it a little go, and for a few reasons that didn't really work out. So I'm so excited to see, this hub finally nearly open.
Yeah, well, it's definitely got a presence, and I think your work in building that foundation to start collaborating and thinking about creative industry is awesome. Caleb, your work is definitely about collaboration across with different creators as well. Tell us about that.
Yeah, I'm really excited for what is coming in the future of the creative industries in Bendigo. When I started this business, there was a handful of really experienced old hand kind of guys at video production in Bendigo, and they were doing their thing, but there wasn't really anyone else that I knew of that was looking to make a career of video production and filmmaking in Bendigo. But that's really changed. So over the last 7 years, I've really noticed, and more recently, a lot of people moving to Bendigo and pursuing a career in video production, my specific part of the creative industries. But what I love about filmmaking and video is that it is so collaborative. Like whether I'm like on every project, I'm collaborating with my client really heavily, because what I bring and what we bring at Hebron Films is the video side of things and how to communicate through video. We're not the subject matter experts of what the video we're making. Like I've had people, clients come to me before and go, be real concerned and go, oh, have you ever made a a mural video before. And even, for the first one I'd make, like, of everything, I'd say, well, no, I've never made a mural video before. But the principles, what I bring to the table is kind of exactly the same every single time. But the uniqueness and the beauty of the videos we make is that we're telling people's unique story, and every person and every business is unique. And they have a different sort of value to bring to consumers, to customers. They have a different story to tell than anyone else. And if we drill down into that and collaborate with them on that, then we're gonna come up with something that people actually want to watch, that is actually helpful for someone, is entertaining, all that sort of stuff. So collaboration with clients is fun, but I cannot wait to collaborate more with local creatives. Like we've done a fair bit in the past, like examples being I love bringing on work experience students. That's a fun thing to do. We love doing that. But in terms of engaging other creative practitioners in my field, I love doing that. Like we work with a few different photographers and
I'm thinking of an animator.
My man, he's got a very, very close spot in my heart, Mr. Barker. How could I forget? Animation, there's heaps of people we work with, across, in Melbourne and all over the place. But Craig Barker, if I'd shout out to Craig, love you, man.
Well, our chat's been overtaken by how wonderful Hebron Films is at the moment.
By who?
Well,
I can't see.
Can see Elise Amarat.
Oh,
yeah.
Elise.
So she's doing an awesome job. Did you set that up? No, it's just you're just good at what you do, which we all know.
No, that's such a powerful thing, I think, about business and especially a creative business. Unless you're in a massive city, a creative enterprise is going to bring you into a really small community. And I know you guys will be a testament to that. You'll be able to relate to that. Being Bendigo's creative industry is very, very small, but it's so powerful. Like if you can network and spread your network to know as many creatives as possible, then it's only going to do good things for your business. And it might get you some encouraging comments in a live chat.
Well, it's definitely working. And hey to Craig as well. We can't seem to get through a live stream without mentioning Craig for some reason.
That's awesome.
But oh gosh, yeah. I mean, I suppose I'm, really interested in the notion that yes, we do need a really strong creative industry. And I'm kind of going off topic here, but as a creative enterprise, you really need clients. You need people to recognize your work. You need to invoice them, and they need to pay you.
Yeah.
So,
important.
Yeah, that's really, really important, and that's when you're in business, when you're ticking over and you're getting paid to eat and stuff like that, which is nice. So, like, what do you do to you got the collaboration in with other creators and you're creating a product, but how do you get clients to understand value and want your creativity to be a part of what they're doing? Like, how do you generate leads? Like, how are you making that happen?
Big question.
I know, Louise, you're just being brilliant.
I'm not that brilliant.
Well, I think that's a lot. Pretty similar, can be very similar, and can be a little bit of a trap sometimes for creative businesses, is that that automatic belief or the lack of knowledge about marketing and about lead generation. Like that's what we operated on for the first 4 years of our business, was just we'd make a project and that was our marketing material. It wasn't for us, but and as Lou's experienced, you put something out and then people know people, and they go, oh, that's really good. Who made that for you? And then that all comes back to you. The trap that we got into with that was that we started making projects for not a lot of money. And then we just got more projects for not a lot of money. And we worked harder and we didn't get paid anymore, and it wasn't enough. So the trap some creatives can get into, and the one I fell into, was that my work is going to be enough for me. I don't need to sell. I don't need to be a salesperson. Like, it'll just all come in naturally. And that for us just led to like ups and downs and peaks and troughs in revenue and income, which is a struggle for every business person.
I think we've all been through a phase like that. I know I definitely did as well, where you're just so grateful for any work and you don't want to offend anyone and you don't want anyone to say no, and so you sort of you bend over backwards and do it for nothing. But yeah, it really is a trap, and you end up putting out substandard work and despising it and despising the client. And that's a really good point. I think that was I definitely had a turning point in that area, where certainly I started out and was doing stuff really cheap, and then when I sort of reached a point where I needed to stop doing that and figure out what I should actually be charging. And there's a few different ways that I figured that out that I can come back to, but getting your pricing right and then confidently asking for that was everything changed for me from there, I think. For a start, I could afford my mortgage. But then I think just valuing your work and pricing it properly shows everyone else that you value your work as well. And people valued me a lot more when I put my prices up and decided I needed to stick by it. And I was so nervous about putting out quotes and whatever at this rate that seemed so high, but it wasn't. Like, it was just really reasonable for the market and for what I actually needed to earn. And the clients started to stop, like, I didn't get stuffed around so much because people valued me. Like, I kind of, not that I compare myself to a lawyer, but I think about, like, if you go to a lawyer, they charge you like $1,000 a minute. So when you meet with them, you're really to the point. Like, you don't stuff around. It was kind of like that. I feel like clients would come to me and go, I'm thinking about starting this business, but they wouldn't come to me until they really wanted to get cracking on their logo or whatever it is they wanted me to do. Whereas when it was cheap, they go, oh, can you design this logo for me? And then halfway through, they go, actually, I might change the name of my business, and that sort of stuff would happen. And just from pricing it, it wasn't even just about the money, just that everything just shifted when I got my pricing right.
Yeah, Elise made a nice little comment here saying that, they see it as an investment. Yeah, that's what your creativity gives. What about for you, Kimberley? What have you done to generate that client base?
I don't know. I don't think I've done anything special. It's just happened. But, probably a bit of Lou and Caleb there in that, again, it just comes back to this fact that we live in a small community, I think, and word of mouth, and maybe just not burning any of those bridges as you work your way through corporate, I think is really important. Because, they'll remember you and they'll reach out to you. But again, it's that pricing yourself right. Everyone has the same issue of getting their price right, and probably trying to come in at a really low point just to get experience and, get a few runs on the board, and obviously it makes it really hard. But in terms of generating clients, I don't have a secret. Like, I've not had to look for them. I seem to just land on my feet in that sense, but I don't know how. But at the same time, sometimes you have that really good run of them that you get too many of them. And then that's another problem, because as a small business owner, I don't know I can't say we're taught it, but, there's this innate thing that you don't want to let that sale go or that lead go. And so you say, yeah, sure, I'll do that, knowing that you have a full book already. And then before you know it, you've just overcommitted. Again, it wouldn't even matter if you're being paid the right price, because, if you're overcommitted, you're not going to deliver to a high standard and on time. And I think the number one thing that a client loves is for you to deliver on time. So to be, on those emails, keeping them up to date. There's nothing worse than saying, hey, I've fallen behind, I'll get to your project in a couple of days. And, I'm hands up for that. That is me all over some days. And it's simply because you take on too much. So being very aware of how many clients you can actually take on. And if you've got your pricing structure right, you'll be okay when you hit that sweet number, because you're like, yep, that's my weekly wage and I'm happy with that.
Yeah.
But then it probably leads into a question, Tam, about growth. When do you actually bring someone on?
Well, that could be a great question right now.
Beautiful segue.
Thank you, Kimberley. Caleb, you're probably a great person. I think, I'm not quite sure, you've got a lot of collaborators and partners that you're working on with different projects, aren't you, Kimberley? But I think you've got
one employee. We've got one.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Did you
want to say hi, Bailey? I know he's
hi,
going to jump in.
Hi, Bailey. He's literally out the door and around the corner. I can definitely talk a bit about that. There was one amazing thing that I was thinking about when Kimberley was sharing about generating a customer base. The one bit of suggestion I'd make is that you've got to have a goal, and it's really helpful to have a plan for who you want to work with, like a list of ideal clients that you kind of check every lead against. That really helped us when we first started. Like, the first thing I did was go network and introduce myself to as many of my ideal clients as possible. And in a few, I had to get really realistic about what I was able to achieve with them. Like, I didn't approach Bendigo Bank, for example, or a massive company that's going to demand a high level of production value that I couldn't deliver on. But having that list of clients that I wanted to work with, I was like, I want to do work with you, enabled me to kind of analyze who was going to be my ideal client, and then measure every lead that came in, based on that. And because, you get in there and network, then I found that I was getting a small percentage of the leads that came in were ideal clients. But going on to growth, man, my advice would be try and grow quickly. But I grew my business very slowly, and if I can impart any wisdom, it will be, don't do that. It's just terrible. That was my journey, and I kind of needed to be that. I learned a lot of things. And
so when you're talking about growing it slow, the thing that comes to my mind that you're like working 24/7, 6 or 7 days a week.
Like we've mentioned it already, like the road to burnout is just working too much. And it's pretty easy to do when you first jump into business, and I think that's a bit of a mercy, really, that your creative endeavor is something that you love doing, so that it's actually easy to do it a lot and work in the business many, many, many hours a week. But that's not sustainable, and that is the road to burnout and absolutely hating what you do, which is not what we get into this for. So where was I? What are we talking about?
You're scaling and telling everyone to do it quickly.
Great, quickly. That was your question. Slowly. Oh, yeah. So I grew slowly by saying. What I mean by saying that is that it took a long time, and I had to work stupid hours without getting paid a decent wage. I kind of had, what I held on to was that a few experienced business people in my life had, and it's kind of a common, sort of understanding that's thrown around, advice that's thrown around, is that most businesses fail within the first year, but if you make it to 3 years, then you're doing all right, and then you start making money, after that you start making really good money after that down the track. And that was kind of my experience. But what I'm trying to say is I don't think it needs to be. If you can fall in love with the science of business and learning, like ruthlessly learning and never thinking you know what's going on and you don't need to learn anymore, then that will kind of lead to fast growth, which, I'd highly encourage.
That's brilliant advice.
Quickly.
I'm just looking at the time. I've got 19 more minutes with you.
Oh, wow.
So many questions I want to ask, and I really want to refine into that. I don't actually, what you've said, I don't quite understand.
Oh, please let me clarify. What do you understand?
I don't know. It sort of just sounded like you weren't speaking English.
Oh, right. Now let's go clearer.
But everyone else did. Maybe it's just me.
My story took a long time to grow. Like a long time to make money is what I'm saying. It took a long time because there was, I kind of got to the point where I worked too much and I got burnt out, and I stopped actively learning how to get better.
I see. Yeah. Okay. I'm with you.
Searching for what I needed to learn to take the next step in business, I suppose.
Okay. You're just working way too much in the business.
Yeah. And
rather than on the business.
Yeah. Way too much. That's a good way to put it.
Okay.
Yeah. And not learning how to do that better.
Yeah. I hate to admit it, but that's kind of me. So what about, what are the biggest challenges that are coming up for you in your business right now?
Growth is kind of one of them. Too much, like for me, like we're getting a lot of work that we really want to do. And I've got Bailey on board now. He was our, our first full-time hire. And it, revolutionized the capacity that we had, just exploded it. I highly recommend adding to your team if you've got, some good processes and all that good stuff. But the next challenge for us is kind of how do we fix our capacity problem? Because we've got lots coming in and we kind of want it all. None of it's like unideal work. So it's looking at who can we bring on board, or what can we make more efficient to fix that capacity problem.
Super awesome. That's a great challenge to have. What about yourself, Kimberley? What challenges have you got?
It's probably a little different. I mean, there is the growth factor, but for me, I'm a mum of 4, and our littlest goes to school next year. So it just comes back to that, taking on too much for how many days you actually have available. There's only so much juggling you can actually do, and you just got to be careful you just don't run yourself. It is a long game. So for me, it's just holding back just a little bit until she starts next year, so that we can grow the business. So, and also just being on the lookout as well, to find people that are a little bit smarter than me in certain areas and bringing them on so that I can have their fresh eyes on, say, the marketing and social media. That might be, part of what I do, but, you really do sometimes need someone else to come in with that fresh set, some new ideas, and, just take the mag and go and do something with it online, and video, like in terms of Caleb, video is something that we'll be looking at as well, like very soon. But I probably personally don't want to waste half a day trying to figure out, whether my reel looks professional. So, it'll be engaging another creative, and just supporting that community, to do those things.
You dropped a bit of a nugget in there in that sentence there with I just wanted to point that out. I really agree with what you said about finding people that are smarter or better at something than you, because like starting your own business, you have to do everything, but you don't have to do everything forever.
No, and even if that is your skill set as well, it's still worth the time to bring someone on that could bring some fresh ideas to it.
I second that.
Good ideas and good people are priceless.
Yeah.
I dare go there. When we were off air, you mentioned some turmoil that comes up, whether and just during COVID, or and having that challenge of having kids at home and running a business, and almost uncertainty around things, and the challenges that it presents for your family. And you were thinking and considering maybe it's not working in creative industries and moving into corporate. Did you want to go there a little bit?
It's a constant battle with me, whether I have one foot in that corporate, that consistent wage, and then another in the creative where I can just run my own race and do my own hours. Like, it's a constant for me. And I suppose it's interesting because we were talking, and, both Caleb and Lou said, yep, they've, done quite well through that period. There's been other businesses that have as well. And, for myself and the mag, I had 4 kids to homeschool. So, that's where that whole working for yourself, you've just got to make a choice of what you can and can't do, and put something on the shelf as well, and being in the right mental space for it. And it's okay to hit pause. I think that was the really big thing for me, that it was okay to press pause for a little while on this. And just get things set up and ready to go. And I don't know, I'm a really big believer in things happen for a reason. And to be honest, the front cover that we had organised, at the start of the year, and if I had have cracked on a little bit earlier, we would have had one out, actually wasn't the right one for when we've published. Her story wasn't what people need to hear at the moment. So who we've got on the front cover, is a woman who has pivoted. And yes, it's an overused word, but she literally has in her business. And her whole thing was that she couldn't pause in her business because by not working, she can't find purpose. So she finds purpose in working. And I don't know about Caleb and Lou, are you both driven to work because you feel some inner purpose is being fulfilled?
Absolutely.
So that was the story of our front cover, and I think it's just a perfect one. So it's a little bit embarrassing and disappointing that we didn't get out another magazine, but at the end of the day,
but you did launch a podcast.
I suppose I did do a pivot.
And what else? You launched a network.
I did launch a few things. See, this is the other thing about running your own business. You need to write down somewhere the achievements or those little aha moments. Because you get so stuck under all the, the terrible things.
Get on with the next thing too.
All that. That you've got this little, rewards board that you can look at and say, hey, I did that. So yes, launched an online directory for women in business in regional and rural. Built another website. Launched the podcast. So that was my creative outlet. I really needed something. So that was my creative outlet. And launched a digital training program just to ensure that there was some revenue coming through.
Well done.
And that's one of the beautiful things about this year too, is that no one's expected anything to run smoothly. No one's expected the magazine to come out on the day that you said it would, or you don't expect. We've learned to expect nothing this year. So
thank goodness. I mean, that's the thing though. No one has actually checked us and said, "Hey, where's the mag?"
Everyone's got their own struggles through this whole thing, and I think everyone else understands that.
If anyone said that to you, I'd be coming back with them. Where's your manners? It's kind of
come to my house and be a teacher. And my husband's a school teacher. I just naively thought that he'd be at home teaching them. Not me. I didn't go to uni. But we all have things outside of kids, other commitments that make it hard to juggle. So back to that first question, Tam. I've always sort of got one foot in in both worlds. And last year I did go back and see what that corporate thing was all about again after, 5 years. And it was a god-awful experience. So, I'm just happy where I am again, to be back among people that, inspire me and keep me feeling like I'm learning all the time.
Yeah, I think I know a little of what you're talking about there, is that, when you do have a creative enterprise, and you can be driven by what you're good at, but also you can be driven by your values. And you can come up with an idea and have that opportunity to carry through that idea. Has that played a big role, do you think, in your business, Lou?
Sorry, Kim, what was that question again? What do you
Well, I guess, putting yourself in a place to be empowered, so that, yes, you're working in a way that uses your skill set and uses your talents, and, but also you can make decisions about how you're going to do things in a way that meets your values as a person.
Yeah, that's huge for me. I mean, I'm probably same as Kimberley. I think anyone who's worked for themselves has definitely had times where they've gone, I could just work for someone and get paid every week. Like, why? Yeah, and every time I've had that kind of thought, then I think about like having to be somewhere at 9 o'clock, or not being able to just not work on any given day for whatever reason. Like that freedom and autonomy that comes with working for yourself is so valuable. It's like, especially when you have kids, but even outside of that, just like for me, I know, like, depending on the sort of job, some jobs where it's something where I need to really sink my teeth in. The magazine is actually a really great example.
Yes, I'm thinking this.
It's a wonderful thing. For me, I really love doing that sort of stuff at night when there's nothing else in the world that I would want to be doing other than maybe, sleep. But to just like, and this is something I've done since uni. I think it's a uni thing that's just continued. Like, I've always loved just the house is quiet, the world is quiet. I have a glass of wine or something and just sinking my teeth into some project. And I know that I can do it for 10 hours if I want to, or 2, or until I, fall asleep. And then the next day I can not work at all, and I don't have to explain that to anyone.
The glass of wine makes you more creative, Lou. I've found that. Yep.
I find it's a bit of an anchor as well.
Yeah.
It makes me want to stay at the computer.
Yeah.
Well, that leads well into my next question, while we've just got a few moments together, is what's your top tip for people who are in business or looking to go into getting a creative enterprise?
Top tip.
Or a range of top tips.
I've got one.
You go.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. I would say my top tip is that you don't have to do it alone. Don't feel like that just because you're starting your own business means that you have to know everything and you have to get it done all on your own. One of the biggest things that's like skyrocketed our business was finding a mentor. Super, super valuable. So yeah, that's my top tip. Find a mentor that can help you along your journey, and if before you've found one, just go and pick people's brains. Like, the creative industry in Bendigo is very welcoming and opening. I think from my experience, I know the people on the screen right now, that's the case. If you want to get into the industry, then just knock on someone's door. Not literally, just maybe call them or email them. And just say, hey, can I pick your brains about what you do?
Yeah, so good. And I think before as well, you mentioned, was it you or I don't know, someone's talking about, I don't know about BAS, or I don't know how to go for GST. And I was just thinking, building that team around you of experts that you can call them when you need them.
Yeah, absolutely.
And probably to that point, Tam, like in terms of BAS and all that, make sure you ask someone that's in that industry. Don't ask your sister's boyfriend who's a plumber or something. I don't know, not even a plumber's not a great example, but in terms of finances, make sure you go to an accountant. They know everything. But I was just thinking my tips would definitely be, no, it might be a no for now. It's not a no forever. So if you do get that knockback, like, don't just sit with that and think, well, that door's closed or you're dead to me, because I've thought that way. But, circle back around, in a couple of weeks, a month, even 12 months and ask again, or try and cultivate that relationship a little bit more and then come back in. If I had have taken no as an answer for so many things, there's doors that wouldn't have opened. So, and if we've got any younger people watching, like school age, do as much work experience as you can. Caleb, you're an absolute amazing person to be offering that opportunity to young people, because for me, my 2 work experience sessions have set me up where I am. I had one teacher tell me to go and do work experience at a newspaper. It's how I got into journalism. It's how I got my foot in the door. And the next one was at Cosmo. It's a magazine, obviously it's not published anymore, but, so many things that just sparked, that little fire in me that I want to work at one, but here I am actually owning one. So, that'd be my tips.
Yep, cool. I've got 2 that are probably, they really just lead on from stuff we've already talked about. With staff, Caleb's obviously talked a bit about staff, and or employees. I know I mentioned earlier that it wasn't really for me, but I think a big thing, just to follow on from what Caleb was saying, is to not be scared of having staff. I know for me, I put it off for ages because it's so scary. And to think like your business has to sustain another person or their family or whatever is such a scary thing. But it really isn't. If you just look at it the right way, and if you employ the right person, employ someone who's smarter than you, is going to fill in the right role in your business, it will benefit you. It's definitely something not to be scared of. Caleb had such awesome advice in that area. And the other one, and again, which is what I mentioned earlier about getting your pricing right, is get your pricing right. Such a one. Yep. And I know the way, and there's lots of different ways to do that, but the big thing, the turning point I had with knowing that I had the right price and getting the right price, and it sounds so simple, it might be simple to everyone else, but for me it wasn't, and it came from a mentor. Again, so good to have a mentor who just sat me down and just really practically said, well, how much does it cost you to open your doors? And I was like, I don't have any overheads. Like, I just have a computer and I just pay for my design software and I can do it from anywhere, and I don't have any overheads. And he said, well, yeah, you do. You need to sit down and add them all up and break it down to an hourly rate. And so I did, and I included everything. So it was like the $30 or whatever it is a year to register my business name. And it was my computer that I have to buy a new one of every however many years, and my subscription to my design software and the client coffees. Just added up a year's worth of expenses and then broke them down to an hourly rate. And it was such an eye-opener for me, because I thought, because I was charging, I don't know, I can't even remember how much it was, but say it was $100 an hour. And I was thinking, I get $100 an hour when I charge a client, but I was getting like half of that, because my business actually cost me a lot more than I realized. And it really helped me to get that rate right and then to confidently ask for it. So to then say to a client, no, this is my rate and I actually do need that. Whereas before I had figured that out, I thought that I was just making it up, and that if they didn't want to pay that, then, oh, that's fair enough. That's a lot of money for me to earn an hour. And I was sort of thinking, oh, I used to work at a cafe for like $30 an hour. So I can do it for $30 an hour. But when it costs you $50 an hour to open your doors, that doesn't work. And it took me that mentor to go, look at this properly, and for me to actually crunch those numbers to go, and ever since I did that, I've got a much better handle on my business. And I think that's a mistake that a lot of people do, is they don't know what those numbers are.
Can I add to that, Lou? Because you've done this for the mag as well. Just in terms of actually pulling someone up when their quote's not right either. It's happened to me twice, in the last 12 months. And I just really appreciate those 2 women saying, hey, Kimberley, your quote's actually a little bit under. Do you want to come back to me? Just go and have another look and come back to me. I mean, that's huge. Yeah. There's someone to offer that feedback, and I don't know, I suppose it even makes you want to work with that person even more. But, Lou, we've been like that with a supplier that we wanted to work with, and just go back. I know our job, but go back, re-quote and come back.
Yeah, I think being able to have those transparent conversations with clients and suppliers is really valuable. And I think another thing that that people like us can fall into the trap of is working as in silos. You know, you work for, I've been working for myself for over 10 years now. So if you don't ask the questions, if you don't talk to other business owners and have those open conversations with clients and suppliers, how do you know like what the rate is anymore? Like you need to have those conversations. And to offer that feedback is really valuable as well.
You are all so fabulous and generous and creative. It's just so good to know that you're here in Bendigo and doing your thing, which is awesome, but also sharing the knowledge and making this industry grow. I was going to put a little plug in for the Empowering Creative Hub again before we finish up. It's talking about, community. I know their mentoring program, I think, has closed for applications, but there is a Facebook community group that you can jump on and meet other people and just share what you do. So, take some of this awesome advice and get out there and back yourself in all sorts of different ways. And thank you, Kimberley, thank you, Caleb, and thank you, Louise. It was just so good to have your time today and hear from you.
Thank you to Tam and Florian for putting this together.
Yes.
Thanks for connecting us, Tam. So you've been there from the start, even in my business journey, and just always there if I need. So testament to you for bringing us together as well. Can we do it in person next time? That'd be great.
That'd be good.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Awesome.